The Teen Summer Printmaking Program was a program to explore printmaking as an art medium and discover both its historical legacy in Chicago and how it's practiced today. Students don't commonly get to do printmaking at a high school level. It's not that common to do the techniques in an art class, or some don't even have art class. For practicing the forms of printmaking, which were centered on relief and screen printing, we were able to teach in both our library space in YOUmedia, but also we were able to get space to teach at Chicago Printmakers Collaborative.
It felt like, wow, this is like where artists actually make like printmaking, and we're actually here as just teenagers, but we're making like stuff with all this professional machinery.
With screen printing, I didn't know I actually enjoyed it, and I didn't even know about it. But then going into this, I realized I actually have a passion for it.
I like the effort that goes into it. There's just a lot of technicalities that goes into making, let's just say, one print. And we get different versions of it. And I think it just shows how much heart you put into it.
For getting a better historical understanding, we worked in visits to the special collections of Chicago Public Library. Additionally, we visited certain museums to look at printmaking exhibits or collections, including the DePaul Art Museum and the Art Institute of Chicago.
We were able to look through these kind of old like screen prints, lino cuts, old artworks that they have. It was really cool being able to actually touch the artworks and being able to kind of flip through them. Instead of on a screen, seeing it in person, it was a very different experience.
To see these really recognizable artists in an exhibit, it just shows like how far something can go and how much history has gone behind it, and inspired me to show who I am through my pieces instead of just making something that looks nice.
My favorite project was the group project. We all worked together to make this huge board. We had to carve it out. We covered it in ink, and then a steamroller would just come over the cloth that we laid down on top of it to print it.
We had our own different styles and our own different visions of what it could be. We all pieced those visions together to create something that was different but united. I think that was the best part of it.
We created a traveling exhibit that went to 6 Chicago Public Library branch locations and was on display for, say, 4 weeks at a time. The work came to Harold Washington Library and was put on display in one of our main hallways and has been seen by literally tens of thousands of people walking through, and it's gotten a lot of great commentary and feedback from that as well.
So knowing that our art was going to be exhibited, I definitely felt some pressure, because I'm like, is this going to be good enough? Are people even going to want it? But actually it turned out for the better, just because I was able to talk with people about my art, and it felt like that connection over it was more maybe even more so important.
A lot of people bought the piece that I have on display, and they all had different opinions on what it meant. And I thought that was really cool. I just love to see different point of views and how that can send a message to different people, and that's why I like to make my pieces, because there's just a lot to take away from it.
I thought the work was fantastic. It was so excellent to get to see students connect to other artists in the city and really see them realize more what being an artist could be about, and that people do it, and that they're real, and that they get by.
It made me feel closer to just art making in Chicago, whereas before, being kind of stuck in my school and doing this and that, it made me feel like I can actually contribute something to the wider art field, I guess.
Now I know how to screen print. That's a useful thing. I don't know. I can help anybody else screen print. I feel like I know enough to help others. And for projects, for school projects, I can make logos and tees. It's fun. I don't know.
Because of the printmaking program, now I'm interested in other programs. I wasn't introduced to printmaking before this program, so if I try something else new, that could be another medium for me to work through and be creative in.